Hey, thanks for joining me again today. This is Sal with Stropping Edge, coming to you today with a fun video. We're going to do a shave off between two razors. So I was allowed to use this razor. It's a RazorWorks R1. I believe this is now, or very soon will be commercially available. There's some adjustments on here. So this is kind of this company's take on this single edge pivoting head style razor. This RazorWorks razor is, I think it's going to be retailing for about 150 bucks. Kind of unique design. Looks like it's all CNC machined. Some stuff is machined as is. Kind of, you can see the ridges here. And yeah, so this is actually a pretty decent razor. I've shaved with it a couple of times, but I immediately thought, what would this compare to? So it compares to this pretty closely. Now, what is this? This is the Proof. Proof razor is also made in the United States. So the RazorWorks R1 or Hammerhead and the Proof, this is the 2.0 Select. They both are made in the United States. They're both aluminum. They're both CNC machined. Both have pivoting heads. This one, got to pull it, but they both pivot. So what are we going to do today? We're going to test this on the left side of the face, test this one on the right side of the face. So we'll show you how to load them. We'll shave with them. We'll test them head to head, see which one comes out on top. But let me show you the rest of the hardware that we're using today to round out the shave and the software. I wanted to use stuff that I knew really well how to use, that I'm comfortable with, trying to take away as many variables as possible in the shave off so that, you know, both razors have an equal chance to come out on top. And having said that, the RazorWorks R1, this fully adjustable one, is one that was loaned to me as a tester. So I do have to pass it back. And this one, the Proof 2.0, I've been eyeballing it for a while, and I do work at the Razor Emporium. I hone all the straight razors for them and refurbish the straight razors. I make scales or the handles for the straight razors, whole 9 yards. Anyways, this I did buy with my own money because I was interested in owning one. This is the newest version of their Select model. They do have kind of an Ultra and they have a brass one. There's one that has like a stainless steel insert in here. It started to get, you know, for me, cost prohibitive. I'm primarily a straight razor shaver, but I do like a single edge. And so I'm going to try this one out and we'll see how it goes. So this one's mine, but it's not going to influence. If this RazorWorks R1 is the better razor, I will tell you. If this is the better razor, I will tell you. Truth be told, between the both of them, my understanding is this one here, because of all the engineering that went into it, and there's a lot. So there's a lot more assembly, a lot more moving pieces and things like that. This one does cost a little bit more. This RazorWorks does cost more. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be about $150. The Proof 2.0 Single Edge Select. Also, again, a pivoting head, and there's some neat designs in this one too, so it's definitely a contender. This one's about $80, so there you have it. But for the brush, one of my favorites, let's get that right side up there, Razor Emporium's the synthetic brush. The knot on this is fantastic. The brush is fantastic. It's one of my favorites. It's very dense, but still has some nice backbone and softness to it. It's a great brush. Available at RazorEmporium.com. If I'm not mistaken, this is like $30 or $39 for the brush, and this will serve you well. If you're a fan of the green and blue flecking that's in there, like this is, or teal and gold maybe? I don't know. You can decide. Definitely well worth the investment. It's a great brush. I've gifted a bunch to new wet shavers and stuff, so kind of constantly been buying these and have given a few away. Anyways, since we're fighting to the death to find out which single edge razor is the best, I thought the most appropriate bowl would be one from a company called Burn the Ships. And this is what bowl we're using today. It is ceramic and it is killer. I love this brush, or not brush, excuse me. I love this bowl. It's super cool. Memento mori kind of a thing, you know. Seize the day. Carpe diem, right? So very cool bowl. Now, the one thing that I will say, to load, let's just jump right in, right? So to load this particular razor, you do pull this down, because you'll see there's a channel right here. So you can pull this down and you separate the cap from the guard. There is a magnet inside here, right there. There's a magnet inside here. So you can load your blade by plopping it on the cap, or you can plop it onto the guard. A lot of guys say it's easier to do it on the cap. I've done it both ways, and honestly, it's a little fidgety to get in, and you'll see it. There, it popped in finally. But it's not immediately like super simple to get. See, it just went a little crooked on me. If it goes a little crooked on you, then it just won't slide in. So, but that's basically how you load it, and I'll show that to you. So the Proof 2.0, they built this channel in here. So you can just grab your fingernails underneath and just lift it right off. Got double magnets in it. And the neat thing is, since this is designed for a double-edged razor blade that's been snapped in half, they put these little cuts in here. Because what happens when you snap a DE blade, and Proof is also very kind enough to include some razors in this little envelope. It's in the, comes with the razor, and you also get the leather case, the leather holder, so you can travel with it and it won't get beat up. But inside here, they did provide 3 razor blades that have been pre-snapped. And how you snap them is inside the envelope, right? You never want to do this when they're outside the envelope, because you have more chance of hurting yourself. But basically, when it's in the paper, you just squeeze them the 2 ends together like this until you hear a tick, and it snapped. So having said that, it is steel that you're rolling or snapping in half. So what ends up happening is the ends, the middle parts of the razors, I don't know if you can see, that's hard to see, but right here is where it got snapped in half. So there's a little bit of a whoop, where it comes down like this. So one of the nice design features of the Proof head is, because it's notched here and here, you simply take the razor blade with the rounded part pointing down, and you just slide it into the guard. The magnets will snag it, and it accommodates for that, for the razor being round, cut or snapped, so it's rounded down. So it's accommodating for that. So it lies flat inside the head. And then that just pops right in like that. You just simply slide that down. That's it. You are loaded, you're ready to go. So to keep things fair, we're going to use the other half of the DE blade from Proof, which is, these are Gem Platinums, Diamond Coat. And if you've not used these are phenomenal razors. They're fantastic. So how you load the guard on this one is you simply bring it in. There's two little tabs, one here, one here. They're designed to go into this notch here and here. So you can just plop it in, and boom, you are set. And so they also accommodated for it, and you can see how the metal from the razor blade is kind of wrapping around the bottom, the back part here. So that's an attempt to get the snapped in half blade to lie flat. Once you've got that loaded, make sure your guard is the top cap's in the right direction, with the corresponding notches for these little tangs here. And you should be able to just slide it into place, and boom, you're loaded. Sorry if some of it didn't get on camera, it is what it is. All right, now we're loaded. You know the hardware. Here's the software. And I know this is well used, but that's how good this is. And I also wanted to use something that I'm very familiar with, that I know the slickness is going to give me. I know the performance of the product, which is spectacular. If you do not own any Bricktown Creamery products, you need to get to RazorEmporium.com and you need to buy some. It is fantastic. This is citrus and jasmine. Unfortunately, this scent is no longer available. And as you can see, I've used the heck out of this tub of soap. I always scoop, I always use a bowl, almost always. Like very, very rare I don't. But even when I travel with a plastic bowl and I use a bowl. So, you know, all of the things are going into the shave. Left side of the face, it's going to be the RazorWorks. Right side of the face, the Proof 2.0. Let's get it on. Oh, I can't say that. No, we can't say that. It's let's get ready to jumble, we'll say. Can't say the other thing. And I think that's probably copyrighted too. So, but we're going to, let's get the shave on. That's what we're going to say. Let's get the shave on. Ready? Let's go. All right. So we're going to dive right into the shave. First off, I'm going to wet my face because I've been yammering along for too long of a time. And water is your friend, health-wise and every other way, especially when you're wet shaving. So I've already scooped my soap. I put my soap inside the bowl. And the nice thing about a synthetic brush is there's no prep with it. So got my bowl. Might look like me a little bit, minus the, but anyways. So take your brush in there, start building the lather. You can see it's already lathering up really well, which is the great thing about Bricktown soap, Razor Emporium soap, and Rex soap. They're all made in the same place. They're made at the Razor Emporium in Phoenix. The scents on Bricktown are from the demented mind of Mr. Phil Decker, a wonderful human being who I just, great guy. And he sends the fragrances over to DJ. DJ makes the soap, and the soap is phenomenal. The scents are phenomenal. It is definitely worth having. So we're going to go no pre-shave today. We're just going to see how the razors perform against each other. And even though we're doing a battle to the death on these razors, I still got a dad joke lined up and ready for you guys. So I'll hit you with the premise up front at the end of this video, and we're going to continue this into a head shave, part number 2. And punchline comes in part number 2. All right, Persona Gem Blade, RazorWorks R1, left side of the face. Here we go. I think I'm going to try not to blade buff too much or go over the same area. I want to do a true one pass and see what it feels like. I've used this a few times, so I've gotten used to the pivoting motion of it and the amount of pressure I need to apply to get the cutting edge to pivot around and start, you know, cutting hair. So I've never used the Proof yet, and here we go. So some of the things that I'm looking out for is how easy it is to hold on to while I'm shaving, how much pressure do I need to apply. It looks like this rotates a little bit easier than the R1, so we're going to find out. Both of them left a little behind, not a lot. My hair grows in really wild ways right here along my jawline, so that's what makes that a little bit more difficult to get a really clean shave here. Got to go sideways from the grain. This is kind of going against the grain for me. Anyways, let's get the beard and the goatee area and let's see what it looks like. Okay, now I'm going to rinse off. I don't want the soap providing any slickness to the feel. I want to know what it feels like just on a quick one-pass shave. Okay, so for a single pass shave on the face, which one's better? They're both pretty tied up. Like, I can't imagine that one is like spectacularly better than the other. The smoothness on this head maybe gives it an edge over this one, over the R1 from RazorWorks. The proof is smoother, the edges are rounded, and that provides kind of a smoothness to it. This pivots a lot quicker than this does. This one you got to kind of push on the top of the head to get it to pivot. This just immediately pivots. So it's a little bit different of a feel. So for smoothness, I have to give it to the proof. Just in the feel against the skin, the ease, even just this RazorWorks is all just very smooth along the sides. Now it's still easy to grip. The sharp corners give you a place for your skin to kind of get some purchase on the handle. The proof went the opposite direction. They rounded out their edges, but they kind of ran a channel in between here, and here's where your texture is going to be. So a lot of times you're holding a razor like this. Even if you hold this particular razor like this, it still gives you enough stickiness. So for me, that's a wash. But this, between these two for the face shave, if gun to my head, give something an edge, I'd have to give it to the proof. So we're going to jump in and do a head shave. Catch you on the next video. Oh, here we go. Dad joke. So I'm from the Department of Dad Jokes. All right, you ready? Don't look it up. Don't cheat. We're having a good time with this. Just kidding. Do what you want. But why don't crabs ever volunteer? Why don't crabs volunteer? Thanks for sticking with me on my journey. Thanks for sticking around on this shave off between the RazorWorks R1 and the Proof Select 2.0. Hope you had fun on this one. We'll catch you on the next video for the head shave. See you later.